So I'm Stefan Maier, and I live here on Chestnut Hill Road. And directly across the street you see the farm stand down there, and that's where Rick and Deb live. Those are my direct neighbors, and we've lived here for over 20 years. And I've been strongly influenced by their progressive thinking, which is renewable energy and so on. And so I got interested in biodiesel, and I actually have been driving my vehicles on vegetable oil since 2005. At first we made our own biodiesel, eventually we switched over to grease car kits and some other methods, but I'm still driving on veggie oil. I have 2 cars that drive on veggie oil. So Rick and Deb have been very influential, not just to me but to the whole neighborhood. And out of that came not only the Garlic and Arts Festival, but also an interest in solar energy. And I started in 2012 by building this system first. It was the first one. And today we are actually working on a system across the street, which is for Rick and Deb. You can see the shed. We actually designed and built that shed, and we put 21 solar panels on it, and there will be an inverter, and it will be grid tied, and it will be a charging station for their new electric vehicle. So we're constantly working on weaning ourselves off of the different grids that we're locked into: the food grid, the electric grid, the fuel grid, etc. So it's been great. It's been very inspiring. It's been great to be around here and to work with the whole neighborhood and the people on things like the festival, but also on renewable energy, etc. This is the first project I did. This was done in 2012. This is a solar array. This is 30 panels. 30 panels on 2 poles. It's a pole-mounted system, and it can tilt. We can change the angle, which I can do right now because it's about the right time of year to do that. Yeah, this is the first array that we built on 2 poles, and this system is adjustable, and we designed it with counterweights, so one person can move the whole array. I'll show you. And we unlock it here. Now I call this also a solar clothes dryer, because part of the counterweight system is these clotheslines here, and so you can dry your laundry at the same time. Now I'm going to move it. You see the whole array moves just with one hand. So this would be the winter position. It's very steep in the winter. Then the spring position, spring and fall position is here, and then the summer position is where it was. So now it's turning it's fall, so I'm going to put it into the fall position. Put the pin in, same thing on this side. And then it can also go perfectly vertical for the winter when it snows. So the snow doesn't stay on it, and the snow comes right down, and then I put it back into the winter position. And so it pretty much works year round. Now this here is a chicken tractor. This actually was one year was displayed at the Garlic and Arts Festival also. This works like this. Can open up. Basically the chickens are in here during the day, and then at night I open up this gate here, and they come up walking into the box. Then I close the box, So they're protected at night. They don't get eaten by coyotes or other wild animals. And then in the morning, before I let them out, I move the thing 10 feet, which I can show you. I can just pick it up like this and then just move the whole thing by the length of the corral that they have, and so they can graze on the next section, and the next day I move it again, and so I can do a whole field like that, piece by piece. I raised 12 meat birds this year. Sometimes I have also egg layers, so, but not this year. We did just meat birds. This is my sheep box. I can actually lift this up with my tractor and the forks. There's 2 cables on it. Lifts the whole thing up and then carry it wherever I want to set it up. It's got a solar fence charger here that powers the netting. And at night again we put the sheep inside. I have a little mechanism here. I can open this door right there, and then I give them a little bit of grain. And that goes in here. And then they come running in, and then I close the door, and they're locked up for the night, and in the morning we let them out again. We built this building. This is basically I call it an equipment shed, a 3-bay garage you could call it. It has a short northern roof here and a long southern roof. On the south side of it there is again 30 solar panels, PV panels. And so we designed this and built it here. This is from rough cut lumber from New Salem. Yeah, that's milled locally, and then we have a particular way of putting it all together. I call it a hybrid. It's not a post and beam, but it's also not stick built. It's a system that basically uses mechanical joints like post and beam does, but then instead of pegs we use bolts, for example, and we also use timber lock screws to tighten the rafters onto the beams and so on. So it's quite strong. It's relatively inexpensive, and again the idea is to have a long southern roof that comes quite ways down so we can put a lot of solar panels on it. And this building, just like the one across the street that we saw earlier, is intended to generate electricity for charging vehicles. So I want to transition from the vegetable oil, which I no longer use in modern vehicles. I want to transition to electric vehicles in the next couple of years.